finally this time, I will tell you how I actually approached and implemented this veggie collector, and I would like to conclude the video by telling you what precautions need to be considered in addition. Now, it's a question of how to manage all the objects, right? What about Gabe Collector? So, I took all of these object types through memory and unallocated them. Then I put the lists of objects that I currently assign and actually use into this object DB. So if I allocate from memory Ripple like this, you take those pointers and put them in a sort of array like this. Only live objects will exist here. Now, it's a similar method to the mark income I mentioned earlier, but it can't be said to be mark income. First of all, I applied it to go through all the objects and check those fields every frame. In the case of mark import, I said that the starting point is now determined based on a specific route, but I thought it was ambiguous to determine which thing to route, and I also had concerns about where to set the starting point, so I started all objects for each frame by approaching it like this. After accessing all the pointer fields and then disappearing, I tried some kind of logic to prevent wrangling by disabling them, putting them back in the memory table, and then inserting pointers widely at this field pointer field position. Of course, what is the pointer field here now? In addition, in this setter function that sets the value, you can turn on some more T and make a circuit only for the children with this more T turned on, or you can proceed with this optimization. So I'm telling you now that I've progressed in this way, in a big way. So once this process is in the Netflix A main thread. The game engine update will proceed at the end of the loop. Now, when I finished, I just finished implementing it and applied it to the engine, and there was a fatal problem. What that means is that you can't synchronize with the field. He said he was going to turn that around now, about Jamansul. But if this field pointer field that I am currently touring about the main field is about the other field, if you modify it, you modify it, and now one thread is modifying the same field and another main thread is reading it, so this sync doesn't match. For example, in my main thread, I said that every time I approach this field, I make a circuit. But for example, I created a project load thread. Let's say we're accessing this same object, and then we're just deleting and adding fields. So now this is bound to be a problem. So each person may have their own different ways to solve this. But now I add an atomic variable to the object when I'm accessing or modifying it. By increasing this atomic value, if it is now higher than 0, we have started synchronization in this way, such as doing Weiss with spin lock. Therefore, I will end the video by telling you some precautions that people who have directly implemented Nagabicho Crater should refer to.